Good morning and welcome to my latest Zoom call, Zoomcast. Steve John joins us from the AT&T National Pro-Am, which we'll hear some breaking news, and then Tom Spencer will join us shortly. And let me get a little of the business out of the way first. Sponsored as we have been for several weeks by Original Joe's of Westlake, and now their new Little Original Joe's in the West Portal District on West Portal Avenue, San Francisco. They've got pizza, pasta, and all of that to go. And our friends at Baggy's Liquors in Burlingame, nearly a landmark serving the community since 1958. As I like to say, eat and drink responsibly. So we got that part out of the way. Steve, breaking news. I feel like Wolf Blitzer here this morning. News this morning, we had heard originally around the holidays that there would be no patrons or fans at the AT&T, and now you've got some other big news for us this morning.
Yeah, you got as many sponsors as the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am. I'm impressed.
Well, we try, you know.
Yeah, that's the real story is charity, and we're so lucky to have AT&T as a title sponsor, and then 56 other secondary partners that enable us to do the great work we've done for years. This is our 75th anniversary tournament in the Monterey, Santa Cruz, San Benito County. And a goal is to still put on a tournament that drives incremental funds to the community. That's really what it's about. At a time, especially right now, more need than ever. It was a very difficult decision, one that was made a collaborative decision between the AT&T, our title sponsor, PGA Tour, Pebble Beach Company, and the Monterey Peninsula Foundation. And a difficult decision, not easy, but it's the right decision. And sometimes it doesn't feel so right, but it really is. We had to make it, and it's getting so close to the tournament that you keep pushing it off and debating back and forth. But I feel we did make the right decision. And
yeah,
sorry for that. The amateurs. Obviously when we waived off the spectators, weeks ago, that's difficult because our tournament truly is about the experience of being at Pebble Beach and seeing the celebrities, athletes, entertainers, and obviously some high profile CEOs too. But that didn't happen. And then now with removing the amateur portion, the great history we have, but we still feel we can put on a very safe tournament for the professionals to come to Monterey in 4 weeks.
Tom Spencer joins us, former AT&T caddy, and now sitting in the 18th tower with Jim Nantz. A meteoric rise, Tom, to your position there. And Steve has just given us the breaking news on the AT&T without having AMs this year. Good morning and welcome here.
Hey, thanks, John. Good to be with you, and good to see Steve. And
hey,
yeah, there's tough circumstances there, Steve. I mean, you're chipping away at an unbelievable, monument of golf, with no fans first, and then the amateur portion, which of course goes all the way back to the inception with Bing Crosby in 1947. But the alternative and the universe that I've been living in the last 6 months with the PGA Championship at Harding and the Masters in November, and then NFL football, I think you're happy to have an event, even though it's a scaled down version, rather than the ultimate alternative, which would not be a positive one. So I guess this is somewhat of a compromise for you.
Yeah, exactly. I was just mentioning to Tom that it's a really difficult decision that we made with AT&T and Pebble Beach and the tour. But it really is without the support we have from AT&T specifically and the other secondary sponsors, we couldn't do the work we've done for 75 years in the peninsula and surrounding areas. And we just hope that we can continue to do that, even with this model of professionals only, that support the tremendous need that's out there right now. And working very closely with the health directors of Monterey County. Pebble Beach has been instrumental in a lot of things that have happened and invaluable to us. So we're very thankful to our partners that we're able to get to this point where we can even have a tournament.
I'm sure there's equally understanding and disappointment from both the spectators and the amateurs, who this is their World Series, their Hall of Fame moment every year to come and play. And I know, I think back to Marco Miri playing with his father and other, stories like that. I know there's many, many stories, such as that. So but like I say, I'm everybody's living in this world of COVID, so I'm sure you've already had conversations with several of the contestants and the participants. So it's something that they'll, like I say, both miss and understand.
Yeah, I think, I've made personal phone calls to every one of our secondary partner sponsors, and they all understand. They get it, and they say, yeah, awful. I really want to be there, but I get it. And they'll come back. There'll be a tournament in 22, and we'll return to the unbelievable venues that that takes place in the peninsula. And you've been there many years, Tom. You have as well. You know that it's a secret sauce that's created here at Pebble Beach for the AT&T, and it'll be different. We'll get through it. And yeah, there are some sad amateurs. I've spoken to a few of them, heard from a few this morning as the press release was sent out at 9 o'clock this morning. And yeah, they're disappointed because, those guys grind and gals grinding their game all year long. They're ready to get to this, Kira Dixon said she's never been playing better in her life. And she's, I'm so disappointed, but I'll be back in 22. So, it's fun to hear from them, to hear the excitement, the level of excitement, and they know their role and responsibility in our tournament. And it's about giving back. They're here for a reason, to support the great work that the foundation does in the peninsula and surrounding communities. It's the lifeblood for these nonprofits. So while they're disappointed, they're leaving their entry fees in. The AT&T is fully committed to support the tournament. Our other sponsors as well. So that tells you what it's really about. They know they're here. They're pushing their chips at the table and saying, do what's right for the community at this point in time and support those nonprofits. And we will do that.
One of the stories I remember, and we had him on as a live guest, Tom, you'll remember, and help me with his name, but Brant Snedeker was not in the Masters yet. And his partner, who owned a cookie company in South Carolina, is a starter at Augusta for the Masters.
Yeah,
And
Toby Wilt is his name.
Say it again.
Yeah, Toby Wilt. He's from Nashville. John is great pal, but yeah, finish the story. It's a good one.
Right. So they end up not only winning the Pro-Am, but they won. Brent Snedeker won the individual portion. And while Brent was in the interview room, we were interviewing Toby on KNBR radio. And then here comes Brent coming in with the trophy, and he sees us talking to his partner. And then Brent sat down with us for probably 15 minutes. And Toby was so excited that Brent got his way back into the Masters. And there's little behind the scenes things like that are so unique to the AT&T. And like I said, I remember Marco Mira playing with his dad, and Tom, I know you caddied in it a couple of years at least, and I know you've gotten to know many of the participants as we all have, and it's like you say, the secret sauce. That's a great way of putting it. And I know when we've done the radio, we've referred to it as it's our Super Bowl, and so many people just think so much of the event that sort of kicks off golf in Northern California. So, but everybody will be watching anyway.
Yeah, it is. It's really such a magical time to see the blend of the personalities, the tour players meeting maybe for the first time some celebrities and really being intimidated by some of these. Larry Fitzgerald is a massive guy, and he's the kindest person. You've interviewed him, I think. I'm sure you have. I know Tom has, and he's he's an incredible man, and he's so philanthropic. So everybody that we bring to the tournament are like-minded individuals, and they really do. When you think about the amateurs that get invited, they need to check a lot of boxes, and it's not the money. It's really, do they truly get it? They really understand what we do at Pebble Beach. It's about giving back. And they do, and they know they're coming here to entertain, have fun, make new friends, and sometimes their relationships for a lifetime. I mean, many sponsors agreements have really originated at Pebble Beach, at the AT&T, maybe in a rain delay, maybe at the player lounge, something. I mean, there's a lot of names on jackets out there and bags because of Pebble Beach. And Peter Jacobsen always says that there's no tournament like this in the PGA Tour. We're able to, you couldn't walk into a CEO's office, a Fortune 500 company, and sit down for 5 hours and have a conversation. You do it at Pebble Beach, the AT&T.
Tom,
Yeah, those are all great points, Steve. I echo what you're saying because Larry Fitzgerald, just since you brought his name up, we covered the Cardinals 2 weeks ago, and we're not sure as we record this today, but Larry Fitzgerald may not come back and play again next season in the NFL. We hope he does, Hall of Fame career, but he was already looking forward to the possibility of getting a chance to play in the tournament once again. So, that goes to show you that, the athletes, what you were just saying a minute ago, one part I really picked up on is the normalization of celebrities and athletes in terms of, the average fan can watch these people in their own environment and see them enjoying themselves, see them getting nervous, seeing them try to conquer, one of the great layouts and one of the great scenes in golf anywhere in the world. So all that kind of comes together. It makes it an incredible formula, in addition to all the other things that you just described. So John, I echo exactly what Steve's saying. We're going to put this tournament on. One thing I should mention, and maybe was touched on earlier, it's going to be a 2-course rotation, I believe, Steve, instead of 3 this year. And for TV purposes, we'll be able to consolidate, hopefully show Spyglass Hill even in a brighter light than maybe even normal, with better opportunities there. So there are, intrinsically maybe a couple small positives coming out of this.
Yeah, good point. I think, I'm getting questions, obviously a lot of questions today as things unfold. But the reason, just to answer the question, reason Spyglass is logistics. It's immediate. It's right next to the academy. With just playing with professionals, the professionals would drive their own car to Spyglass. We don't need the shuttles, and shuttles are a little bit of an issue, as we all know. We were going to have to bring on additional shuttles for the players to allow for some spacing in the vehicles. But this way, we can have them use their own cars, go over to Spy. If we end up with a 1 in 10 tee off situation, they're 1 in 10 are right there, same place. So a lot of reasons. I mean, look, Monterey Peninsula Country Club's a phenomenal golf course, and it's been well received by all the pros, which is great. But with only 156 professionals, you really only need 2 golf courses. We don't have daylight to have 1 golf course, as you know. So we'll do it 2, and who knows what'll come from this. I think that the pros are disappointed. I've received some texts this morning from some pros saying that it's not the same. We're excited to come, but it's not the same. It's not the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am, but we're coming back. We'll come back stronger than ever in 22.
That's the voice of Steve John, the executive director of the AT&T National Pro-Am and the Pure Insurance Open, the Champions Tour event played in the early fall, along with Tom Spencer here, John Abendroth as well. Steve, talk about, we've covered this before, and of the professional sports, I think golf has been a real outlier as far as being able to hold more events in a smoother manner, and compared to other sports. I just read this morning where the Friday night, here as we speak, Friday night Warrior game in Phoenix has been suspended, will not be played because Phoenix doesn't have enough players. But talk a little bit about the evolution of testing on the PGA Tour for both caddies, officials, players, allowing for competition to go ahead and happen.
Yeah, we were able to put on a very successful Pure Insurance Championship back in September under all the safety protocols, really driven by the PGA Tour. I think it's important to mention the PGA Tour is the first sport to come back to safely put on events, and they really have done a remarkable job. 26 events, I think, is what it's been. We've had 5 in California that have come off successful. It can be done. Social distancing is a natural in the game of golf. You can't get within 6 feet. I mean, I don't know how long your driver is, John, but a 46-inch driver, if you you might have a Bryson DeChambeau 48.
No,
but you can't get close, in golf. So it's beautiful. It's outdoors. It's a natural place to have, for social distancing. We create a bubble the best we can. A bubble's only as good as the bubble. We test everyone before they come on site, before they enter the academy, before they enter either golf course, they'll be tested. And then every morning we'll do temperature testing, and to really create a safe environment. We can't control everything. It's impossible to, but we control what we can control, and we do a really good job with the assistance of the PGA Tour, which is, as I said earlier, it's done a remarkable job to create a safe environment. We pulled off a Pure safely. Pebble Beach pulled off the TaylorMade Invitational in November, very safe. So we know we can do it. We just have to continue down that path. And as I said earlier, with the help of Pebble Beach, working so closely with the health director of Monterey, they've been a tremendous partner. I can't say enough about them in the safety protocol. the meetings we have. We create a COVID task force with all the key constituents are involved to make sure we're doing it the right way, the safe way to do this, because you have to. There's so many things. Masks are we should all be wearing a mask right now. We're all for close, but you just do what you need to do and get through it, and we will get through it.
Tom, and how about from the media side, from the CBS side? I know you have what's called the compound where all your equipment is housed, and then I know at first you were doing a lot of work remotely. I remember there was some graphics guys in New Zealand working all night. How has the coverage evolved from your end, and maybe talk a little bit about your football side? I know you're also doing the Super Bowl this year, and with, I don't know, 40, 50 something cameras and camera operators and all that. So that's another kind of a whole behind the scenes thing that's a massive undertaking.
Yeah, it is, John. It's been a challenge, to say the least. Going back to last June, and Steve runs into and talks to Jim Nance a lot, and Jim's been sacrificing as much as anybody. Jim's traveling every week. I had the opportunity to stay at home and work last summer remotely, and we had, as you point out, we had technicians helping us out in New Zealand. We had facilities in Connecticut, Burbank, California, the on-site remotes themselves, announcers in Orlando. That was just golf. And we kind of came together, starting really with the PGA Championship in San Francisco at Harding Park, and then at the Masters, where we could all be safely on site again, using Steve's word, out the bubble. NFL's Friday night. You quarantine and you're with Jim and the Kansas City Chiefs for our game this Sunday, but I'll be doing it from home. So all that comes together. And then even last week, we did a game with Tony Romo calling the game from Dallas. It is home. We were in New Orleans. You never know what's going to come up. Steve will tell you there are challenges each and every day. The get-go has set up a great infrastructure. The players have bought in, most importantly, and they've moved it from town to town, city to city, market to market, and done so successfully without having to really alter the schedule that dramatically. That's been a big prop to them, because every other sport has been impacted in a very major way.
Yeah, very well said, Tom. I'm remarkable the work that Jay Monahan, under his leadership, and the tour has done. You think about what the many it's a blend of everything. As you come in, the circus comes to town. You've seen it, and it's challenging, and they've done a remarkable job.
Well, great stuff, guys. Thank you so much. I know you're both have busy mornings, so we can wrap this up, and then I'm going to hang on here and just touch on a couple other topics that I had in mind. So, Steve, John, appreciate it, and great job running the AT&T, and we'll see you down the road. And appreciate the breaking news here for the Wolf Blitzer wannabe here. So there you go.
Yeah, it's not all doom and gloom. I mean, really, John, we're still going to have an unbelievable professional golf tournament.
Yep.
The field's very strong. Francesco Molinari's never been here, to my knowledge. I may have played the Open. I guess he probably played the Open, but not in the AT&T. So there's a story. We still have a great story to share with everybody. On TV, there'll be no fans, but you can follow on all the social media platforms. Nance will be in the booth with Faldo. It'll still be really cool. So let's be positive and, to drive funds to the community. That's what we really are. We're a Play-Doh machine. I want to be a big Play-Doh machine.
and what do we call it this year?
And one thing to remember.
What's that?
Go ahead, Tom.
I was just going to say, to Steve's point, no fans, but we always have cutaways of ocean and sea life and possibly weather. You never know. So there's always intangibles that you can use to sort of cut between golf steps. Go ahead, John. Sorry.
And Steve, what do we call it this year? Is it still the AT&T National Pro-Am, or is it the AT&T National Pro?
Well, actually, National was removed about 5 years ago, and AT&T would probably come down and kill you if they knew you were saying national. We're global. We're not national anymore. That was changed, I don't know how many years ago. I don't know what, it's the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am, whatever. Still going to happen. And we'll have dogs on the beach, Tom. Don't worry about that. We cue the dogs and cue the whales, as you know. Nance will have a great show. Thank God for CBS, man. Sellers and those guys. And now Lance, with Lance going away, Sellers has come on. So, moving on, guys, moving on.
We're looking forward to it.
I really am.
Guys, thanks so much again. And we'll talk to you both soon. Appreciate it very much.
Thanks, John. Thanks, Tom. Good luck to you.
All right.
Be safe, everybody.
Tom Spencer, there we are. All right. Talk to you guys soon.
Thanks a lot.
Great visit there with Steve, John, and Tom Spencer. And I had a couple other comments I just wanted to think about. I'm always curious about the players that play at Kapalua in the Tournament of Champions, and then they don't go on to play at the Sony. Sony's a very tight golf course. That was actually the first PGA Tour event that I played in, and fun golf course right on the water. But it's a parkland course, kind of weaving in through some houses, lots of trees and dog legs. So I can understand the Bryson DeChambeaus of the world that don't want to play there. But, it's such a short trip and such a cool area that it's there. So anyway, big news there about the AT&T, and we'll keep everybody posted. And thanks to our friends in Burlingame at Baggy's Liquors and to Original Joe's of Westlake, and now in West Portal Avenue in the neighborhood where I grew up. So see you again soon. John Abendroth here, PGA Golf Professional, signing off. Thank you.